If you've ever felt lost navigating TradingView or felt you could get more out of it, this video is for you. In it, I'm going to break down the features, indicators, chart layouts, themes, and a lot of other things that you can use to take your trading to the next level. Stick around and I'll show you the exact organized workflow I use daily to make profitable trades every day. Also, please don't forget I do have a Discord community that you guys can join for free. Please feel free to check it out. I do hold weekly mentoring and coaching sessions to help you guys out and understand the crypto markets, technical analysis, and answer any questions you may have. So feel free to jump in and get started. With that, let's dive into TradingView. So let's first get set up with TradingView. If you click the link below, it'll take you directly to TradingView where you can set up your account. It will walk you through the steps, pretty normal as you do everything on the internet nowadays. But once you're there, you're going to pop up with the home screen that looks exactly like this. And one of the most important things to focus on when you're trading is making sure what events are going on for the day. A lot of events in crypto will make the market more volatile, especially during the New York opening. So you can go ahead, click up to products up at the top, calendars, and it will bring you to exactly what is going on for the day. And to make this even easier on yourself, you can go ahead and click this little bar chart right here, and it'll only highlight the important events for you. So as you can see, it's Saturday, Sunday tomorrow, so there's no scheduled important events, but it would reduce that down. So you can see here's all the events total across the world. And if we click the bar chart, here is just the most important one. So we have like unemployment rate, PMI is a big one, when Powell speaks is a big one, interest rates, and other things like that to pay attention to. All right, so if we navigate back to the home page here, once you get on a chart, you'll see you can grab your icon up here and you can select home. This will bring up a new tab for you and you'll be directed back to the home page here. But you're going to see a bunch of different options. I don't pay attention to all these because I'm only trading crypto. But if you were trading other things, you can see them here under markets. You'll see stock, crypto, futures, forex. There's a lot of different things you can trade out there. My suggestion is always focus on one to start out with and make sure you master that first before moving on to something else. You can also see news flow, which can also be very important. So here you can see what's currently going on in the news and what may have effects on the market as well. As of right now, right, we got Trump's tariff war going on, which is tanking stocks. So stuff like that is important to pay attention to along with those calendar events. If you do open up a new tab here, you can simply see it opens up these new tabs for you and you can see all the same things as well, right? We got our screeners for all the different stocks or cryptos you want to screen through, calendars, news flow, which I just showed you. You can also view heat maps. So let me just open up stocks here, but you can see the heat maps, they're all in red due to that tariff war going on. But as you see here, this is how people get those cool screenshots you normally see on social media. Let me open up a new tab. You can also select one for crypto here. You'll see, hey, crypto's looking pretty good compared to the stock market right now. So I don't know why people are complaining, but here we are. And if you do have TradingView opened up in your browser, you'll see this More tab here, and you can go to Downloads to actually download the desktop or mobile app. I do have it on my phone as well, just to make sure I know what's going on in the markets daily. I'm always on there. But you can download the desktop app right here. You can just simply click for Windows, for Mac, or for Linux. I'm on Mac, so that's what I use, and then just go through the download instructions there. All right, so now if we go up and pull up the charts here, you can simply click and go to Products, Supercharts, and it will pull up a graph. I trade Solana a lot, so this one popped up, and you can see Solana's chart now. If you go off to the left-hand side to your little icon up here, you can see Home, which I showed you before. You can see what's new. There's a help center if you have any questions for their team. You can also see app settings here, and you can change the theme to dark or light mode, as you'll see here. I prefer dark mode just because I feel like I've been on the computer for ages. I'm constantly working on the computer. So that's just me for my own eyes, and that's how you would change that. All right, so now let's say we wanted to pull up Bitcoin here, but you can see you can pull up stocks, funds, futures, forex, whatever you need just by typing it in. So let's say we want to pull up Apple or advanced auto parts, I guess. You can just type in whatever and it'll pull up that chart and you can click to go to it. So if we wanted to go to crypto over here, we can simply select crypto. And then we can select Bitcoin, US dollar. You're going to see Tether perpetual contracts, coin dominance here, which is a good comparison with where the market's headed, XRP. And you'll also see the exchanges associated with it. So each graph is going to be a little bit different depending on the exchange you're trading on. So you want to make sure you select the correct exchange here. For instance, I trade on MEXC. I prefer it, especially with Solana. There is 0 fees for trading on MEXC for Solana, and that is what I trade. So it works out pretty great. I'm pretty sure MEXC has the lowest fees around. But for instance, let's say I'm typing in Sol here. I wouldn't want to select Coinbase or Spot or US dollar, but I would want to select MEXC for it. So here is Spot MEXC, but that's not what I'm looking for. So we just type in Sol USDT, and you'll see there's Binance. Here's this crypto for USDT. That's what I trade. As you'll see, it popped up right here. It's also off to my chart here, and I'll show you how to add these as favorites. But right now, let's go ahead and move to the time frame. So towards the top left, you'll see I'm on the 5-minute mark here. But to select any time frame, you can simply go down and select it here. And each one of these is going to show you a different time frame, right? So right now we are on the 5-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candles represents 5 minutes. So you'll see a little countdown ticker off to the right side here. This candle hasn't yet closed yet. So we need to wait for the candle close on certain moves before entering or exiting a trade because it will make a difference. So you'll see there's 1 minute left on this 5-minute candle for it to close, but each one of these represents 5 minutes on the chart with the open and close on the wicks. So if we move down to the minute, each one of these candles would represent 1 minute. And you'll see the clock over here ticking 30 seconds. This candle hasn't closed yet, but it is ticking away. And so 5 of these candles would equal 1 of those 5-minute candles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be 1 5-minute candle here. You can also move up to the daily and weekly chart if you're looking for longer term investments, basically buying and holding, I would say. That would be your analysis chart for the longer term, analyzing the daily and weekly time frame, even the monthly there. So you can see what the chart looks like overall. But when we're just trading on the 1-minute time frame, usually we're in and out of trades pretty quickly within anywhere from 10 minutes to usually an hour, sometimes a couple hours every once in a while, but usually that's the time frame we're in and out of trades. If you move here, you can see we are on candles here, but you can change your chart to any one of these if you would like it to look like that. I just use candles. Some people like to use these, I know, but you can also see line. So there's the line chart of it, baseline, everything like that to make it look a little bit different or easier to read if you're looking for a certain way to read the charts. I just stick with the candle. So next here will be indicators. I'll get into that a little bit more. I'm going to show you my favorite indicators to use. Honestly, I do not recommend using a lot of indicators. It's just going to make your charts look very messy, and it kind of basically confuses your brain a lot with the strategy you're trying to trade. You would think more confluences and indicators would help you out, but it actually can make your trades worse because you're not sure when to enter, when to exit, because so many things are going on with different indicators or analysis or whatever it may be. And my goal for you guys is to keep the trading simple, easy to understand, easy to use, so we can get in and out of trades quickly. Anyways, we'll move on to the next tab here, which is alerts. This is very, very important, especially if you are doing other things during the day, or maybe you have to leave your house and you don't have your computer with you. If you have the TradingView app on your phone, you'll get an alert on your phone as long as you have those notifications enabled. So you can simply set up alerts. So right now we can set it up based on price. We can set it up based on different indicators here that I have favorited. We can set up if it crosses down, crosses up for that certain price. Based on the indicator, it'll show you what notifications you can set it up for here. I'm not going to get too far into that because, like I said, I'm going to show you the 3 strategies I use and what works best for trading. But you can also set the alert to trigger only once, meaning it triggers pretty much right away, once per par. If the bar closes, so like I was talking about with that 5-minute candle, it would wait for that candle close to send you an alert, or once per minute. You can add a custom name here to keep your alerts organized, and the alerts also appear off to the side here. So you'll see some that were triggered and some that are still active for me, which are longer term. So the next thing I want to point out is very important. It's called bar replay. And if you are just getting started trading, I highly recommend doing some bar replays. I'm also going to show you guys TradeZilla as well, which you can actually backtest different strategies to see how they work out. But that is a totally different program for a different day. So if you go here and you go to bar replay, you'll notice I can chop this all the way back to whatever point I like. So let's say I want here, and it goes back all the way to that time period. So you'll see this is April 3rd. We are on April 4th, so chopped it all the way back there. And you can actually play it forward. You can play it faster, 1x, 3x, 5x. We'll go 10x just so you guys can see how quickly it moves on the minute chart here. But if you were practicing trades, this is the way to go, and you can note down your trades. Here's 10x. You'll see it's moving pretty quickly. Here's 5x. Moves a little bit slower, so on and so forth. So you get it. So this is a great way with bar replay to practice different strategies. If you just click back at the top, it'll exit out for you. But let's jump back in here, and you can also select a date if you wanted to go to a specific date for bar replay, or if you are practicing, I highly recommend just doing a random bar as long as it doesn't take you too far back. I think I've been having it take me back to 2022 or something crazy when Sol was like $13. So if you right click, you're going to see there's nothing here right now because it set us back to what? We're in August of 23. So if we just right click, and you can click reset chart view, and it'll show you those candles. You'll see there's not a lot of volume here. Maybe a lot, yeah. So this was when Sol was $20, so probably not a lot of people were trading Sol or something of that nature. This was probably during the bear market or something like that. But as you can see, you can select a simple date or random bar, right click to reset chart view to see what the candles look like, and you can just select play down below to play it forward and start practicing, saying, oh, I like to enter here and exit here, or something like that. Also with bar replay, when you're practicing, you'll see a sell and buy button down here to practice with. So if I click buy, you'll see a blue line appear, and you can actually set your take profit at an area and your stop loss at an area to practice. So let's play this forward. So hit my stop loss. You'll see I lost 48 cents there, but that is something you can play with here. So as you'll see, I lost 48 cents there, but here is the quantity you can enter. So let's say I wanted to buy or sell 500 of these, and I want my take profit down here. I want my stop loss up here. Play it forward, and you'll see it's moving towards our stop loss to stop us out. So you'll see, because I adjusted that quantity to 500, now I lost negative 779 down there too. So this is a pretty cool practicing tool that you can use instantly to get better at your trades without risking your money right away. So if you go ahead and exit bar replay like I just did, you'll see our chart has disappeared because it's back on our current timeline. So if we double click here as well, it will bring us back to the chart off to the right-hand side to where we're at. You can also squish this up or squish this down by clicking and dragging your mouse to make it bigger or smaller. It's funky at first getting used to TradingView when you're clicking around in it. It took me some time when I was first beginning, I remember, but once you start clicking and moving around, you just simply click to drag across the chart, go back here, go over here. You can also have some indicators down here, and here's the arrows that pop up with those indicators. All right, so now we're going to quickly cover the layout portion here. So if you go to the top, you'll see layout setup, and you'll see we're on the single chart right now, but if you move, you can select a double view, you can select triple view, however you want to stack it. You can reorganize your charts by clicking reset chart view like I showed you before. If you want a million charts up, you could click something crazy like that. As you'll see, if you need several charts per tab, you need to upgrade to a certain version. So apparently there's Ultimate now. I'm on Premium, but they do have discounts every year on Black Friday. So do keep that on mind. It's a pretty big discount for the annual plan. If you are on the basic free version now and want to upgrade, probably wait till Black Friday. It's a really good deal. Same with the monthly plan to upgrade then just to save some money. But I'll go ahead, close out of that. We'll just go back to the 3 layout, and I'm going to show you how you can exactly change all these time frames. So if we just change it to 1 minute, you'll see they all change to 1 minute time frame here. So let's go ahead and say I want to make this one the 15-minute chart here. All you have to do is toggle off interval here to get your charts with on different time frames. So let's make this 5-minute. Let's make this a 15-minute, and we have our 1 minute on the giant one here. You could also go up here and select those different variable time frames right there as well if you wanted to. You can also toggle on and off symbols. So let's toggle off symbol here. We'll go ahead, let's say we want to change this chart to Bitcoin. Maybe we're comparing Bitcoin to Solana's price since Bitcoin tends to move a little quicker than Solana. You can see Bitcoin here versus Solana. If we want just all Solana charts, we can simply toggle this back on and it will go all to Bitcoin charts here. So next, you can see I have some red candle bars here. Let's say I want to make these a different color. You can simply change the color of your candle bars by selecting any of the colors here. It already has some defaults pulled up for me, but whatever color you want to make your candle bars, you can click apply to all, and then they'll change all those colors there and hit OK. Those are just some simple features. This is great if you're looking to do an overall in-depth time frame analysis. Some people like trading this way. They like to see the 1 minute, 5 minute, and 15-minute to see where the chart may be possibly going. I like to keep it simple. I just focus on one time frame, either with the 1 minute or the 5 minute. I don't want to overcomplicate things in my brain and jumble a bunch of confusion up there. So I keep it pretty simple with my trades, but that's how you would do it. You can also mess with crosshairs here. So you'll see we just have a crosshair on the first chart here. If we wanted it on all 3 charts, you'll see if we toggle it back on, it's on all 3 there. And if we would like to save this layout, we can simply make a copy. You can name the copy, and then you can click save, and it'll save it up there for you. Now off to the right-hand side here, you can view a watch list. So if there's certain symbols you like to trade, I noted all these ones down just for a certain strategy I trade. Usually I'm only focused on Sol, but you can go ahead and add different symbols here as well. So let's say I want to add turbo or something on there. We can go ahead and add it and it will appear on our watch list down here. You can also delete symbols by simply clicking that trash can button. If you wanted to create a list, you can create a list here. You can have long-term, certain different lists, whatever you want to name it, but you can go ahead, create a new list. Leah, we'll hit save, and then it'll appear blank, but you can add the symbols from there to that list. You can also delete this list or favorite it right there. And if we move down this panel here, you can see here's a bunch of indicators up. You can go ahead and simply delete these or move these. You'll see I have a couple of trend lines left over, but you can move these around. You can move them top to bottom like you would with Photoshop or something, or you can remove these from your chart to delete them off your chart and they will simply disappear. So let's say put a fib up, put a long position up. You'll see they appear right down here. And if I want them gone, I can simply click delete, or you can just hit delete on your keyboard to delete them out and they'll disappear there. And then the same goes for all these indicators here too. Now, if you remember, there was the economic calendar that I did talk about. You can see this calendar button right here off to the right-hand side, and you can go ahead and click it and it will pop up right away. You can also click this to narrow down the events with the most important ones, but that is how you would quickly take a glance at what's going on for the day on the calendar. So if we wanted to change the price to a percent or something, you can simply right click on this table and you can select percent. You'll see it move to a percentage. You can do index to 100. You could do logarithmic and other things like that. Of course, I'm just usually on regular, which is the current price. If we move to the bottom here, you'll see there's a trading panel, which you can click to open up and click that full screen. And you'll see a bunch of different brokers or exchanges located here that you can sync with TradingView to trade on. MEXC, I don't know if it is on here or not. I actually haven't installed it. I just log in via Google Chrome or something like that. Binance is on there though, Coinbase One. There is also paper trading if you wanted to start out paper trading with those bar replays. That'll help you keep track of all your trades. So you can view that there. If you go to the top, you can click Restore Panel to move that back down. There's also replay trading for bar replays, which I already went over. There's strategy tester. I'm not going to get into that at this time. That gets a little bit more complicated with the Pine editor and things like that, but you can, for instance, take code, open up a strategy, which I believe it works better for the longer term from what I've seen, and make an indicator based off that. So that's how a lot of people will actually create indicators. They'll load code up in Pine editor. So for instance here, you'll see some code appear. I've seen even people create strategies from ChatGPT or something. They load code in here to see how it plays out. Usually it's not very good, but you can see how that works there. And this is a totally different topic that you would need a lot of practice with to get into. You need certain stats on this and everything like it, but that's just there if you need it. All right, so now I'm going to quickly go back to the settings towards the top right here. If you click that button, you can see here is where we kind of already went over this, but you can change the color of your candles and body and style like that just by messing with colors here. You can play around with it with whatever you like. You can just hit Control Z on Windows or Command Z if you want to undo a change. So you'll see here's like yellow. I can just hit Command Z to undo. If we go down to status line here, you'll see this toggles on and off the logo up here for the pair. Towards the top left, we can also toggle on and off the title up here, which disappeared. We also have the open market status, which is just green right now. And then you can have chart values, so where the current price and everything is like that. These things I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to, but you can if you want there. So on price scale here, you can mess with a couple of toggling on and off things here as well. The plus button is pretty important and allows you to enable alerts over here. So you notice if I check it back on, you'll see a plus button, and here I can add an alert if I want to at a certain price or with an indicator if I would like. So I always have that on. You can see here you can add in the previous day close. So you'll see a value pop up at the top here, which is 119, or you can even add a line at that 119 level if you wanted to do that. It also has pre-post market values as well. You can have the high and low. You'll see a line just appeared there at 120, or the value, you'll see the high. And then next, if we move over to Canvas here, you'll see the overall background. I really don't have grid lines on mine. I just like to keep it super simple. You can also change this to a gradient if you want. I don't like it to be too distracting, but you can do that if you like. You can change the color of your crosshair. So instead of this light gray, maybe I want this. I can simply do that there. And then there's just some more simple settings down here too. As for trading, this would be your like buy and sell buttons, your instant orders, anything like that. So you'll see positions here. This is how you could set up orders if you do have a brokerage or some account linked up with TradingView. I actually do not. I just log into a tab and place orders that way. Here's your alerts section. You can change the color of your alerts if you would like, only active alerts and things like that. And here you can show economic events or not, latest news. You can also write down ideas and have those toggled on. If you want to save your settings, you can come down towards the bottom left here and you can save as whatever template you would like to save this chart as. So that's just a simple overview of the settings to get you started. All right, next here we are going to move over to indicators. You'll see the number 7 towards the top left here. If you pop this up, you'll see the indicators I currently have on my chart. I would recommend only sticking with maybe 2 to 3 indicators. You don't want a lot of cluster on your charts because it's going to make it actually harder when you trade. I always go for simple trading setups. When you are trading, it just makes it a lot clearer when you're eyeballing prices and things like that and entries and exits so you can get in for a profitable trade. So the only few indicators I really use, and sometimes I don't even use the money flow. This is Lux Algo's money flow. It basically tells you if a bunch of buyers or sellers are coming into a play. So you'll see I'm on the 5-minute time frame here, and you'll see all this red of a bunch of sellers. If you drop to the 1 minute, you'll really see it move with the chart. So you'll see this little red moved a little bit, so more sellers could be coming into the play. This also shows the point of control area, meaning the point of control area is where price is likely to come into and consolidate around. So that's part of the money flow profile as well. I also have the EMAs 20, 50, and the 200. A lot of times the EMAs, the candlesticks will bounce in between these EMAs, sometimes come up, back up and hit that 200, possibly for a reversal or something like that. If it stays around the 20 and 50, it could just be continuing in that same direction. I know a lot of people will also play to get out of a trade if it comes above that 50 EMA. So that is one strategy there. But that is why I have those up. And then the other one are fair value gaps. It's Luxalgo fair value gap. You can see a bunch of red boxes here. So if I toggle this off, you can just do that with an eyeball. You'll see they disappear. Doesn't catch every fair value gap, but it does catch a lot of them. And it's just easy to spot quickly on the 1 minute time frame for when I'm making trades. So I leave it on there. You can adjust settings for any of these that you wish. So like a threshold on fair value gaps. Let's say we put a 0.04 or something. You might see you saw those little ones disappear, which could be not as relevant compared to this big fair value gap here. So these are the main indicators I do use. You can hit Control C or Command Z to bring those back there. I also do use an RSI and then MEXC as well. Like I said, I like to keep it fairly simple. I'm not always looking at all these things, but those are the basic indicators I do use. And you can go up here and to add indicators, you can simply favorite them or type them in. So let's say we are adding money flow. See, it pops up right there. I already have it starred. If you want to star it indicator, you can star it. And then you can go to your favorites and see all your favorites here. So under technicals, you can also see all the indicators TradingView already has available for you. You can see a list of strategies as well. We went over that briefly. This is a lot more complicated, so I'm not going to get into that right now. Profiles, patterns, all that fun stuff there. So if we also wanted to add, let's say we want to add the RSI to our bottom field here, we can just click that. So to change the inputs or the color of these lines, if we would like to, you can just double click one of the lines and we can change the RSI length. So we can change the RSI length, the source of the RSI, the smoothing, anything like that. We can also change the colors of this. So maybe we want these colors of these lines, whatever you want to do there, but those are the settings. I'll show you my overall settings for the RSI here. It works pretty well for me, but my inputs are RSI length 7, source is closed, type is SMA, length is 3, this is 3 as well, and this just helps me. I notice a lot of times on the 1 minute and 5 minute charts, you'll see like a little highlight. So this is indicating something's oversold, and you'll see this come down and it's pushing back upward. So a lot of times this could be an indication if you were, let's say, taking a short here. This could be a good indication to probably get out of a trade because it could be flipping back upwards to you. Can it hit this more than twice or 3 times? Sure. You can see it all right here. We even had bold divergences popping up on it, but it still continued its downward movement. So I'm going to have a price action video as well, but to help you better understand this. But you can see these are some of the highlights. You can also see we had a greenish highlight up here, indicating a possible reversal. We are in an overall downtrend, so this could have been a good spot to even take a short on, right? So instead of buying right here when it's overbought, that's not something you want to be doing. You want to be possibly taking a short here if we are in that downtrend momentum. So you can see how that worked out for it. That's how I play the RSI with those settings. If we wanted to delete an indicator, you can just hit the trash can. We can delete it. MEXC, I keep it pretty simple. You can just double click the lines. Here's the inputs I use for the MEXC. Nothing too different there, but MEXC and the histogram just helps you read the overall price action, I would say, on the chart. So for instance, we're, as you can tell, this kind of lowered out. The lines are kind of staying pretty steady here in the middle part of it. So this is a big consolidation zone. And consolidation or ranging zones can be hard to trade unless you like to trade those. I do not. Just because you're moving back and forth, you can be like, oh, I'm going to take a short. Oh, I'm going to take a long. And then a stop loss will hit you out. But if you do see like crosses on the MACD, this could be an indication that it's flipping the other direction. So you saw up here, we had a cross on the MACD, flip downwards. This isn't always the case, especially on lower time frames. If you move up to higher time frames, it becomes more accurate. But this is just to help you overall to see that. You'll see like here we had a cross when it was bearish on the MACD and it popped up really quick, popped up some more into the bullish area. So that's how you would read the MACD. But those are just a few of the indicators I use. I don't like to use too many. Some of these I barely look at and just sticking with one simple strategy. Like I said, keep it simple with your trades and you will be way more profitable. And if you do want to maximize this pain more, so you can hit this button here, it brings it up full screen in TradingView for you. If you want to click this, it'll bring it down. If you want to get rid of it completely, you can just double click here and it'll disappear completely for you. If you want to bring it back, you'll notice the panes disappear down here too. You can just double click again and it pops back up. So that is an overall indicator review there for you. So now we're going to go off to the left-hand side and we're going to look at the toolbar. And I'm going to show you probably the most important tools that I use pretty much every day. TradingView does have a lot of tools overall. Some of them I don't even touch or use or I've never looked at. So I'll just show you the general tools you need to use to keep it simple, but also become successful in trading. So we're first going to start with the trend line indicator. So here you can see it pops up with this box here. I could select a save setting, which I have here. I'll show you how to save the setting too. But if you're looking to draw trend lines, this helps you determine resistant areas. So maybe this price could come all the way back up to this trend line and then taper back downward, creating another lower low here. This could be a good entry spot. However, if it breaks through this, we could see a retest and then have an entry towards an even more bullish run. So this would be an example of a trend line to use, how to draw them. If you wanted to format it, you can change the color. Maybe I want it yellow. Maybe I want it bullish. If we wanted to save how it looks, maybe I want to add text to it. So you can add text right here, the bearish trend line. And we can simply save this format. If we wanted to, you just save drawing as template and you can save it there. That way next time you could easily pull it up like this. I will go ahead and delete that. If we move to the next one, we can see, so that's trend line. You can mark it as your favorite there. If we wanted to move down to a parallel channel, channels are very popular in trading. You can see we could probably create a channel from here to here, and then we can just drag downward. I'm not even clicking while I'm dragging, but maybe we drag down toward here. And a good entry, we have this trend, pop back down here, came back up, came back down, popped again right here. So you could have taken maybe a long here because it hit this channel right here if you're looking at it. So you have 1, 2, came back up to that midpoint 3, and then took an along here. But that's how you would play the channel game if you're looking for entries and retests. You'll see it completely broke through this channel on this one, but that's due to this big long candle pump we had the other day. So that's how you would use the channel trend line there, or the parallel channel. We also have horizontal lines. So these are great for support and resistant levels. So I'll just pull this up, reset my chart view here. So we can draw support and resistant lines here. So if we have that horizontal line, and just click, and it drags it all the way across over just with one click. If we want to move it downward, I hit Command. I'm on a Mac. You can just select Command and drag it downward, and maybe we have that bottom. So we are in a consolidation ranging territory between these two horizontal lines. So that's how you aim for support and resistance zones here, where it could pop either back above. So maybe if we saw a break of this, we could aim for a long. So maybe it could come down, retest this, and then go long. Same if we saw a break to the downside, I'd probably move it more towards this wick. But if we saw it break to the downside here, and it comes back up for a retest, and then we could go short here. So that's how you would play with the horizontal lines as well. I already showed you the settings up there. You can also set alerts on these lines. So maybe we want to set an alert here. You can either go ahead and have a plus sign here. Like I said, if we're looking for an entry, once this does break through, we can set an alert. We'll be notified via our phone if you have it on your phone, or it comes up with a dinging noise on your computer when you have your volume up. So you'll see that available there. So let's say I wanted to add alert. You can have crossing only once, and you can just hit create and it will create alert. So we'll go ahead and delete those. Well, I don't really use a whole lot other on this. I'm just sticking with trend lines, support and resistance, and possibly a channel just to help if we wanted to trade that strategy. The next tool I use is the fib retracement all the time. Okay. One of my favorite tools. I use it in pretty much all my strategies. But if you select fib retracement here, let's say we have an overall downtrend here, and this is hindsight, right? It's going to be really different when you're live trading. But you can simply click to drag this. And this is a backwards way of drawing the fib retracement, but this is how I do it. It's up to you how you want to do it. You'll see it came up, hit that 0.618 level perfectly. And those are usually the levels I am looking at for entry. It even came back all the way up and hit that 0.382. So it had a little bit of a fake out here after it came up and hit that 0.618. And usually I'm looking for take profit levels at 1.272, 1.618, 2, or 2.272. So that's why I have those drawn here. To draw the fib the correct way, I guess, since this is the fib retracement, if we're looking to take a short here, you would do something like this to look for an entry. So you'll see people are usually looking for that golden ratio area. It's called between 0.618 and 0.5. So you could have timed your entry like this and either put an entry for a short position, since we're in an overall downtrend, as you can see, put your short here and then put your stop loss somewhere above the next fib line for a possibility. I usually like the fair value gap candles. You'll see we have a fair value gap here, and that's the candle of the fair value gap. So I'd probably do something like that, or a support and resistance area with this candle top. Depends what the risk to reward ratio you are looking for here. But you can see here's your entry, 0.5 to 0.618 for that short, and it just tapered back down. And then, like I said, if we wanted to find our take profit levels, draw it backwards, and you'll see we can mark these levels out. You'll see we had almost a bullish candle here. It came down perfectly, hit this 1.618 level, and now it's just sticking around there. It didn't come down and hit this 2 level, just missed it, but it looks like it's ticking back upward. So that is how I use the fib retracement. That is one of my favorite tools that I highly recommend learning about, and I have a video going over that as well. Another tool I use is the trend-based fib extension. So this is based off Elliott wave theory, where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves, and then you have either a continuation or an ABC correction. So if we were looking at a possible Elliott wave here, and just draw it out so you can see this tool, you'll see right here we have Elliott impulse waves. So we can actually draw this out. And how I see this is 0, 1, 2, 3 is usually your longest wave. 4 shouldn't come above your 1 here. So this is pretty low. And then this is your 5, which kind of had a liquidity sweep as well. So then we had a correction. We had I'll just pull this up really quick. We had a BC correction. So I see it like this. Everyone sees Elliott waves a little bit differently too, and they're going to be different on higher time frames. I'm just showing you on the 1-minute chart. You can see A, B. I think this would be invalidated because it's lower than this 5, but then you could possibly have a C here, something like that. So that is the Elliott wave. So for the trend-based fib extension that goes along with the Elliott wave, it can also time your take profit levels, just like I showed with that fib retracement. You would just mark out that one area I drew out. So if we were going short here, like I mentioned, can draw it from here to here. You'll see it came down, hit that 3.618 perfectly with that 5th wave. So that could be a good level to take profit. I usually see the 3rd wave either hitting this 1.618 mark or this 2.618 mark. Sometimes the 5th wave will actually stop at this 2.618. But that's how you can play the trend-based extension as well. Right, so now let's say we're going back to that short position. We do our fib retracement tool. We're looking for that 0.5 or 0.618 area. Lined up pretty good with this fair value gap, actually. But here's a short position and how you would calculate your quantity based on your account size. So you can actually move over here. You'll see short position or long position, and you can select either one of these. We're taking a short here. Obviously, we're in a downtrend. I always like to go with the trend. You're really going to increase your win rate that way. If you do go with the trend, yes, there are reversals in the market and nothing is 100% certain when you're trading, but usually you can increase your win rate simply by going with the trend. So if we go ahead and take a short position here, and I can just say, let's be real. Let's say I entered at the 0.5 here, possibly with this, and I was aiming for that 1.272, and maybe my stop loss was just above that fair value gap candle. All right. So you'll see it gives me a quantity number here, and it gives me my risk reward ratio, which is very important. So if we double click on this, we can actually pull up our account size, whether you have 10,000, let's say we're starting with 500 or something and trying to grow our account, and we can actually calculate our risk. So you can do this in percentage or you can do this in money. Like I want to risk $50 on this trade. So if I lose the trade, I lose $50. If I win the trade and it's a 3 risk to reward, I gain 150. So let's say we're going to risk a percentage of our account. I recommend starting out with something small. So if you're starting with 500, the recommended honest amount is 1 to 5% of your account. If you think you have enough practice in you and you're looking to really grow your account, you can go up to 10%. However, it gets more risky. So if you were to lose, let's say this is a $1,000 account just to make it easy. If you were to lose 10 trades in a row, your account would be blowing, right? Because you lost 10 trades, it was 10% of your account. So you're risking about $100 each trade. If you lost 10 trades, you blew your account already. If it was 5%, you would have 20 trades to lose in a row. And if you're losing 20 trades in a row, you need to focus on either your mentality, I would say, or maybe it's your overall strategy or your discipline. It could be anything. I don't know what's going on in your mind when you're trading, but it's something to take a look at and readjust. So with 5% of your account, you can lose 20 trades before completely blowing it up. Now, if you're risking 1% of your account, which would be $10, you can have 100 trades before blowing up your account. Let's say you lost 100 trades. Okay. So let's say we're going to risk 5% of our account or $50 per trade. So if we were risking $50 per trade, it gives me a different quantity than what we originally had up. You'll see it's 58 now. You're going to want to pay attention to these quantities. Let's say I was risking $100 per trade or 10% of my account. Now it's at 116. And this is the input you need to be putting into MEXC or whatever platform you are using when trading in order to remain profitable. So you're losing trades even out and you're winning trades show that profitability. So let's say we entered at the 0.5 and we're going to flip this around here. And we're going to put our take profit level at the 1.272. Let's say we didn't want to get greedy today. We were just kind of scared. It's a good risk reward ratio, almost 3.5 there. So we would have won this trade and we would have got, since we're risking 10% of our account, we would have risked $100 had this came back up, which it almost did here. Came back up and hit our stop loss. That's why I have it just above those fair value gap candles. But had we lost, we would have lost $100. Had we won, we now have $350. So that is how you effectively grow your account, by managing this quantity here. You don't want to be just sticking with, oh, I'm just going to put 20 in, or I'm going to throw 100 in. Just make sure you have the exact quantity when you're making these entry trades. So that is how you use the long and short here. All right, so next we are going to take a look at the date range here, or date and price range. I'll go ahead and pull this tool up so you can see the stats, but this is on the daily time frame. So this is how a lot of people will calculate out how many days we could be possibly in a consolidation period before ticking upward or something like that. They'll go back to the overall cycle. You'll see we did see some consolidation around that level as well. We saw some consolidation here, which matched up with this. But you'll see the next cycle, which could be however many years out, some people will calculate it like this. You'll see this lasted, what, 235 days? Almost a full year of this consolidation back and forth before it broke out here. And you'll see it gives you the bars, how many bars it was, or candlesticks here on the daily time frame. So that's how you would use that. So I'll go ahead and delete that. So we also have the path tool over here. This is another popular tool just to show possibly where the chart might be going. So maybe we're headed bearish still. So maybe we're going here. And to get rid of this, you can just double click and it toggles off. So that's how you would use the path tool that a lot of people use when showing possible strategy or price action movement on a chart here. The next tool is a box. So this is good for support and resistance as well. So let's say we wanted to draw a box around this consolidation area here. So maybe from here to this bottom wick here. And you can see this is a general, possibly consolidation zone. It looks like it broke out here and it's coming back up. Could break to the upside, but this is how people will show support and resistance or consolidation zones with those boxes. You can also draw fair value gaps with those. So if we're not using an indicator, we could draw this to this. Maybe want to change this to a bearish color. Go ahead and make it red. Maybe you want to save this template as a FVG, bearish FVG for next time because it's red. And then next time we can just go ahead, pull this up and actually select it. So you'll see if I go over here, select the rectangle again, you'll see it's now saved. And I can just easily pull it up and it's red for me, so I don't have to keep adjusting it. So let's say we have a bunch of drawings on our chart and we want to save this layout and these exact entry criteria or fib retracements. Maybe we have some trend line goings, maybe we have support and resistance area, and we want to save all this to review at the end of the week to see what we could have done better or maybe optimize our strategy further. So you can simply do this by going over to, it's called the object tree over here. And let's say I just want to select both of these. You can add it to a folder. You'll see it says group 1 here. You can right click and hit rename. And sometimes what I like to do is put down the date. So we could put down 4/10/25 Solana. And then maybe the strategy we're playing is opening range breakout on the 5-minute. So we could put the strategy, the date, and save that for journaling our trades if we wanted to. And then it'll just stay in there. If you want to delete it, you can go ahead and remove all this and just select delete. And you'll see all of our charting was removed here. I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. If you do have questions, please let me know down below. I also do post all my trade ideas in the Discord here, as you can see. With altcoins, I'm following a specific strategy and system. So I post trades here daily, I would say morning and night, trying not to miss any trades. I also note down what I'm kind of seeing on the charts and other things we can take a look at to improve our trading as well. There's also long-term trade ideas here that I cover in a video, as well as I go over daily analysis of what we can expect with the current market if you are trading. I also do chart reviews, strategy sessions, mentoring, anything to help you guys to improve your trading game. That is what I'm looking for. So if you guys want to come watch me live trade, it is in my paid Discord group here. Feel free to join the Insider Circle. If not, that's cool too. But I look forward to talking to you guys again. And please let me know the next videos you would like to see and any questions you have. Talk soon.